It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio Public Affairs Analyst Oladeinde Ariyo. Good morning.
Mommy, good morning. There's no fuel in my car.
So I should supply you here now.
Yes, now.
All right, joining us via Zoom is Public Affairs Analyst as well, Ambrose Igboke. Ambrose, good morning. Right. Okay. Ambrose, I can't hear you yet, but I guess we'll be able to hear you as we get along. Let's head straight to the papers now. And I begin with the Nation newspaper. Petrol panic in Lagos, Abuja. NATO threatens strike over cost. No scarcity of products, says NNPC there. NATO is a Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners who are also threatening to go on strike over cost of petrol. All right, let's quickly move now to the Nigerian Tribune. Fuel queues resurface in Lagos, Ogun, Oyo. Moment blames operational challenges. NATO threatens to withdraw haulage service. Demands upward review of freight rate. All right, you find all of the details on the pages of the Nigerian Tribune. To the Guardian, still talking about fuel scarcity. Panic buying in Lagos as NATO threatens strike. Artificial scarcity caused by recall of dirty petrol. Source claims NATO to withdraw haulage services over diesel price. Operation cost. To the Leadership newspaper now, 7-day ultimatum by CSOs expires. President Muhammadu Buhari yet to sign electoral bill. You find all of the details on the pages of the Leadership newspaper. To the front page of the Blueprint, insecurity. Niger imposes curfew on Shiroro, Rafi local government areas. Details on the pages of the Blueprint. To this day newspaper now, APC leaders in search of consensus candidates at convention to unite party. To the First News newspaper, Abba Kyari Malami hints of possible extradition. And on the front page of the Vanguard, nation's mood will decide our presidential candidate, says PDP source. At North only ruled for 2 years during PDP's reign. Zoning's a nutty issue. Will cross the river when we get to the bridge, PDP leader speaking there. You find all of the details on the pages of the Vanguard newspaper. To the Daily Sun now, 2023, Osinbajo gets Pastor Adeboye's nod to announce presidential bid after APC convention. It's not true. Aid. We are yet to discuss zoning APC. Right. We move to the Daily Trust now. Why 104 more ISWAP fighters surrendered. Terrorists likely behind Okene police station attack. Abductors of Kaduna Catholic priest demand 60 million naira. To the Daily Times, Nigeria is living on extra time, Sanusi warns. That's the former emir of Kano speaking there. To this Nigerian newspaper, ex-emir Sanusi warns Nigeria will face tougher times in 2023. Our country bleeding needs urgent rescue, says Wike visits former PDP chairman Ahmed Makafi. All right, you find the details on the pages of this Nigerian newspaper. To the Punch newspaper now, portal breakdown, NIMC telcos meet again. Chinese, Nigerians battle faults, subscribers remain stranded. NIN verification problems affecting other agencies. Downtime enters 7th day. Chinese, Indian manufacturers join Galaxy backbone in marathon repair sessions. To the front page of the national economy now. Delay in rebasing GDP hinders planning investments in Nigeria. And to the front page of the Nigerian News Direct, lawmakers probe banks over 1.2 trillion naira unclaimed funds. And on the front page of Business Day, top risks for Nigerian banks in 2022. All right, let's quickly look at this situation of panic buying. We've seen queues in some states, like it's been reported, Lagos, Ogun, Abuja. There's been panic buying, and I'm wondering, you say you don't have fuel in your vehicle.
Yeah, now, thank God for the guy that came to pick me. I probably won't be here.
Right.
Yeah, it's that bad. And you just woke up suddenly, since last week, started seeing the queue. I was like, what's happening? Maybe they were traveling out of town. But from Lekki to Ikoyi to Anthony, Maryland, it's everywhere. And I wonder what triggered this.
NAPC is saying that there is nothing to panic about. So why are people panic buying?
Government already said they are no longer removing subsidy.
Right.
So the price that we presently buy will remain. Now, what's the idea behind this? Because if you now go and begin to buy inflatable stuffs and you are storing them, then you are playing with fire.
Right.
Anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Fatality can also follow. So why do we want to take such a route? So I would rather we appeal to people to stop it, because there's no need for it. Despite all the queues, we still get some stations anyway, off-road stations. They still sell fuel normal times without any queue anyway. Majorly, the highway stations, I think, are the ones bedeviled by this queue.
We are already in some states. There are reports. I think Abuja.
Abuja is a bad case already.
There are some black marketers are said to be making a kill out of this.
You know, the moment this thing happens now, those guys, they see it as a chance for them to cash in. And you know, they do this in collaboration with either the operatives or the owners of the station. They get their supply from them, primarily in the night while you and I are sleeping. Then by the morning time, they come out and start selling. It's unfortunate because it's a big risk hawking petrol. We don't have to. It's taking us back to the dark ages. We should get better.
Absolutely. I wonder if it's the same situation where you are, Ambrose, if you can hear me now. What's the situation with fuel queues and perhaps supply of fuel where you are?
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, here in Enugu, where I am, there is no, at least we are doing far better than Lagos, if I must say. Unlike my colleague, I bought fuel. I drove into a filling station yesterday around 8 p.m. and I bought fuel. There's no queue. I think sometimes what happens is that over the years, for more than 20 years now, what Lagos sells most of the time is always cheaper than what the other parts of the country sells, despite the regulated, why we say we are regulating pricing. When you come to Far East, when you come to the Far South, Far North, and the rest, what Lagos sells is usually cheaper than what other parts of the country sell. So normally they have added their own costs and they are comfortable with it. I think sometimes the DPR just concentrates on Lagos and some few major cities for price enforcement. And so sometimes Lagos, I think, gets jealous or envious of his colleagues in other states that are selling at a premium, and sometimes they want to enforce it. Also, I think this present scarcity is occasioned, or seeming scarcity, is occasioned by the fact that NNPC has admitted that some of the petroleum products, refined products is imported into the country, are adulterated with sulfur. And the people are panicked, saying that they don't know the filling station that you will go that may have those products that are adulterated. I think so. That is also what led to the panic buying. We heard that over 100 billion liters of petrol are adulterated. And so Nigerians, I don't know what parameter we are going to use to know which filling station has the adulterated product or which one does not. So this also occasioned the panic buying. There have been petroleum queues in Nigeria since more than 40 years, people are going 50 years. I don't know when we are going to solve this issue. Even when the refineries were working, there have been petroleum, there have been fuel scarcity. So most of these fuel scarcities are occasioned by the marketers. Sometimes they are available. Some of the time, which is rare, they may not be available, but most of them is occasioned by the marketers. And I think the DPR should enter negotiation with Ibrahim and see how this can be stopped.
We already see the National Association of Road Transport Owners also threatening to go on strike, saying the cost of haulage, the government needs to look into that, and perhaps that would also come into the mix with regards to this situation.
I don't now expect them to want to exploit an unwholesome situation. This is not the appropriate time to raise such an issue. If they had their challenges, which is everywhere now in Nigeria, and I'm glad that the former emir has come up again to remind us that we are living on bonus times. For those of you who are football,
extra time for football.
So this is extra time for us. And the earlier, because virtually the country is bleeding on several fronts: security, economy, foreign exchange, and they have now said, we all know that the cost of doing business has gone up astronomically. So also the cost of goods and services, which again is telling and biting very hard on the people. And I keep asking myself, will I want to inherit an economy of this type, or a nation, of this type, by saying I want to be president of the country at this critical moment?
But someone has to be the president. That Absolutely. Is what democracy is.
It leaves them with a big mountain ahead of them, because you got to be sure of what you are getting into. The enormity of the damage that we have on ground is such that if you are not strong mentally, and attitude, cerebral, if I'm physically strong too, it's enough to kill anybody. Okay, things have gone terribly bad, and we must admit that. So those who are aiming at presidency should go and do a lot of homework. We will be asking questions, okay, because we know things are bad. But what plan do you have to take us out of these doldrums? It's important.
Have Nigerians ever got to the point of asking critical questions such as that?
Before we came into the studio, it was the issue. One of the engineers was asking me, and I said we got to a point where we must ask questions. All the development index or human parameters you may look at, they're not attractive. From 175 naira to $1 is now 575. That indicates a terrible weakness on the strength of our national currency. From rice at 8,000 naira per bag to 45 naira, Abuja ticket from 10,000 naira to 40 naira. You can go
40
on.
Naira, 40,000.
As ticket, not return, no, just go and not come back. I mean, so you can begin to see those things. And then from the security point, today, we are the third most insecure country in the world after Afghanistan and Iran. So much that Somali, of all countries, they said they should not compare them with Nigeria. And when you look at this, the CNN money report and other financial reports all over the world, we've not been giving good remarks, including corruption participation index. It's all been negative all around.
All right, Ambrose, to give this conversation a better perspective, we have moved to what the former Emir of Kano said. That's Mohammed Lamido Sanusi said. He said he warned that Nigeria will face tougher times in 2023. And as Oladeinde Ariyo is just trying to break down some of the things that perhaps Sanusi Lamido saw, and he's saying that these are the issues that those who will be coming in 2023 have to be conscious of when they are taking positions, now that they are seeking, campaigns and all of it. And I'm wondering what you make of his statements with regards to we living on extra time. He said in 2015, we were in a deep hole, according to him, and that in 2023, it is going to be a tougher time that Nigerians will be facing.
Well, if I must say, Veronica, if you can hear me, if I must say, even every football match that has an extra time, there must be and there must be a loser. So if Nigeria is in extra time, I don't know when Nigeria will enter the full time. It is when we get to the full time we will actually know who is the winner and who is the loser. Ultimately, the competitors are not even. The competitors are the Nigerian masses and the economy looming large in one side. And then, since I was a child, I've been hearing, in fact, before I was born, so many of us before we were born, some of us in our early 40s now, or even mid 40s, we were born growing up hearing about austerity measures. I mean, this has been a national anthem, austerity measures. From those days in the 80s, in the late 70s and early 80s, from Operation Feed the Nation, austerity measures, the structural adjustment program, the war against the discipline. We have had all sorts of, sing songs, all sorts of mantras, all sorts of kinds of platitudes telling us that we are entering hard time. There have been never a time, at least for the past 40 years, that Nigerians have been told that this year you will enjoy. Nigerians have never been told that this year you were going to have a bumper year, that this year your economy is going to improve. And so I don't, Sanusi is not saying something new. No. In 2014 and 2015, I mean, Sanusi had the opportunity as a CBN governor to change a lot of things. What he did in the other sector would have done, what the opportunity he had would also have influenced what would have happened. But I think he got too political, and at a point, we didn't know whether he was a politician or a CBN governor. Now, he's pontificating to us about tightening our seatbelt austerity measures. Those are not pragmatic solutions. We have heard about the toughness, the tough times coming. We have heard about the looming economic predictions all over the years, almost half a century. What we want now is pragmatic approaches. What are the paradigm shifts that we need to engender to ensure
perhaps
that
he's saying that, Ambrose, if you can hear me, perhaps he's saying that so that those that are seeking political positions, who are seeking elective positions, will bear this in mind so that they can have pragmatic solutions when they're coming.
What I was saying is this, that it is easy to come organize a press conference or issue a press release and pontificate on the way forward. But we are also talking about a person who has had the opportunity for 5 years as a CBN governor to do the needful, to be able to also change, to engender this paradigm shift, to actualize these pragmatic prescriptions that he's given. How did that end? Perhaps we can judge his tenure as CBN governor, because at that level, you have all it takes to be able to, implement these lofty policies you are talking to politicians about. So at this stage, Sanusi is just rehashing what we are used to hearing. So I'm not thrilled by that at all. We need to see how, as a people, we can evolve. We are good at politics. Nigeria have brilliant minds like Sanusi. We have brilliant economic theorists. We have people who, when they leave this country, they go to the diaspora and change other economies. The Asian tigers, the American economy today, the UK, now is Canada, Australia, and some other countries where Nigerians are going there to engender a paradigm shift for their economy in a positive direction. Why can't we do it in Nigeria? So first of all, it is not about these lofty prescriptions. It's not going to work. We have been hearing about it for 50 years. We need a change of our mindset. We need a change of attitude. We need a change of perception. We need a new national ethos. And it has to start with the little things. First thing, our attitude. The first thing, those little attitudes that make a man or make a person. What kind of personality are we creating for our citizens?
All right.
What kind of personality allows a mother to embrace a child who has no money, who has made money at 17, bought a car home, and doesn't say anything? So if we don't engender those kind of ethos as a nation, then no amount of economic prescription will take us anywhere.
Right. Let's bring the conversation to the studio because Sanusi seemed to also have made such, talked about those mindset change. He said, he spoke to religious leaders as well. He said, do not just pray for anybody that comes to you for prayers. Ensure that perhaps this person have the capacity, as we know, because oftentimes during these periods, we see these people politicians going to religious leaders for prayers and all. He says, ensure you look at them. Don't just accept anybody.
You know, it's still doing the same, doing things the same way and expecting a different result. Somebody calls it insanity, and I concur. The point really is this. Is it about consulting individuals or sitting somewhere, examining very critically now and passionately our challenges, isolate them, the specifics, and begin to indicate solutions and say, oh, this we can try ABC and alternatives, right? Then we can say it may be uhuru for us, it may be a new day, but still going to them for prayers. It's not about, even the scriptures that I know, they speak of walk before pray. Okay, you got to walk before you pray.
He's telling them to be watchful.
Yeah, that's the truth. But the point is, maybe we should be addressing more vigorously now those they are going to. Okay, that they also should be sincere. Let them know that look, it's not a tea party. There's a job to be done. Are you ready emotionally, mentally, intellectually, and physically? We cannot afford not to get it right anymore. Because we are the tipping edge, and that's the sad reality now. We must be back to the path of sanity in governance, and at the presidential level, there is no option. We must get it right.
I think our should not just be at the presidential level. I think that is another
levels, right?
error we keep making.
But the point is this, see, in some states in Nigeria, we can see development. It may not be as humongous as we expect.
It shouldn't be a some state thing. It should be the 36 states. It should be a global thing.
I share your...
And the Federal Capital Territory.
I am with you on that.
Right.
But the point is, the people that we expected to have joined politics, so to say, they see it as dirty. And for as long as they stay away, okay, other people who have no business being in governance, they will find their way there. I'm surprised at the battery of people threatening, now I call it threatening, to be our president. And you ask yourself, what are their antecedents? Where are they coming from? What are their achievements? Some of them, these things don't add up for them. They should not ordinarily, the same way you have those who have nothing to show for the lives they've lived in the past, struggling to be governors, senators, and all of that. So we need to now begin to focus on getting the right people into governance. And that's why I advocated for independent candidature, whereby you won't be a victim of godfatherism and Babasokpe mentality. Yeah.
And so now people also need to be politically educated, understand the power of your PVC.
Very important. I wanted to contest to be a Catholic in Abeokuta. When they asked me to go and share money to some world leaders, I walked away. How can I go and begin to share my hard-earned money? What they are doing is telling me, give us money when you get there, still. Of course, that's not my ideology. I walked away. It's unfortunate.
Unfortunate, really. But we must leave the conversation here, gentlemen. Let me thank you, Public Affairs Analyst Ambrose Igboke. Thank you for joining us. Thank you also, Oladeinde Ariyo, Public Affairs Analyst as well, for your time on the program. Thank you.